Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Tonight's meeting is a Town Board voting meeting, and the date is Wednesday, June 17th, 2015 at 7 p.m. Earlier this evening at 5:30 p.m., the Town Board met in executive session to discuss with our Town Assessor certiorari claims, and also we discussed with Councilwoman McDonough some personnel items as well. So we're out here now for the Town Board voting meeting, and before we get started, I'm going to ask you all to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And Councilwoman McDonough, would you lead us this evening?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Susie. And before we get started, I just want to announce that our longtime Zoning Board of Appeals Chairman, Mark Frazier, has sadly passed away. He battled cancer for quite a lengthy period of time, and unfortunately, he succumbed to cancer 3 days ago. He was living down south at the time, and we're all very saddened by the news of Mark passing. And he did a tremendous amount of work for this community. He volunteered significant amount of hours towards the construction of the Carmel-Mahopac Chamber Park. He was one of the lead volunteers of that with the Chamber of Commerce, and all his time was all volunteered. He never asked for any compensation for that. He just enjoyed working for this community because he cared deeply about this community. He served as our zoning board chair, as I said, for many, many years, and we're all saddened by Mark's passing. So I just want to let everyone know that, and our thoughts and prayers are with Mark's family at this very difficult time. So thank you. Okay, once again, this is a town board voting meeting, and the first item on the agenda this evening is to accept the town board minutes of May 20th, 2015, and I need a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, item number 2 this evening is a resolution accepting the comprehensive annual financial report, also known as the CAFR report of the town's independent auditor for fiscal year 2014. Councilman Schneider, would you read that, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby accepts the comprehensive financial independent audit report of the town's independent auditor, O'Connor Davies LLP, for fiscal year 2014, and hereby directs Town Clerk Ann Spofford to publish all notices required in connection herewith in the official newspapers of the town. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilmans Lupinacci and Schneider.
No.
I'm sorry, Lupinacci and Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution is a resolution adopting the hazardous mitigation plan, and Councilman Lombardi, would you read this one?
Whereas the Town of Carmel has gathered information to prepare the County of Putnam Hazard Mitigation Plan, and whereas the County of Putnam Hazard Mitigation Plan has been prepared in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, and whereas the Town of Carmel is a local government that has afforded the citizens an opportunity to comment, to provide input into the plan and actions of the plan, and whereas the Town of Carmel Town Board has reviewed the plan and resolves that the plan should be updated no less than every 5 years, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby adopts the County of Putnam Hazard Mitigation Plan and resolves to execute the action in this plan. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing the refund of the operation and maintenance costs for Carmel Sewer District Number 2. And Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one?
Whereas the town of Carmel has entered into an agreement with the City of New York and the City of New York Department of Environmental Protection for the reimbursement of operation and maintenance costs and expenses for the Carmel Sewer District Number 2 wastewater treatment plant, specifically as such costs and expenditures related to the regulatory upgrade program by the City of New York, and whereas the Town of Carmel and the City of New York has reviewed and reconciled the costs and expenses for years 2008 and 2009, and determined that the City of New York and its Department of Environmental Protection have overpaid the Town of Carmel the sum of $55,918.85 for the period of 2008 and 2009. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 2, hereby authorizes the payment to the City of New York through the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation the sum of $55,918.85. And be it further resolved that the Town Comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers required to effectuate this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing a refund of the operation and maintenance costs for Carmel Sewer District Number 4. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read this one?
Sure, whereas the Town of Carmel has entered into an agreement with the City of New York and the City of New York Department of Environmental Protection for the reimbursement of operation and maintenance costs and expenses for the Carmel Sewer District Number 4 wastewater treatment plant, specifically as such costs and expenses related to the regulatory upgrade program promulgated by the City of New York. And whereas the Town of Carmel and the City of New York have reviewed and reconciled the costs and expenses for the years 2008 and 2009, and determined that the City of New York and its Department of Environmental Protection have overpaid the Town of Carmel the sum of $22,649.42 for the period of 2008 and 2009. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 4, hereby authorize the payment to the City of New York through the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation the sum of $22,649.42. And be it further resolved that the Town Comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers required to effectuate this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, resolution number 6 is a resolution authorizing a refund of operation and maintenance costs for Carmel Sewer District Number 7. Councilman Schneider, would you read this one?
Whereas the Town of Carmel has entered into an agreement with the City of New York and the City of New York Department of Environmental Protection for the reimbursement of operation and maintenance costs and expenses for Carmel Sewer District Number 7 wastewater treatment plant, specifically at such costs and expenses related to the regulatory upgrade program promulgated by City of New York. And whereas the Town of Carmel and the City of New York have reviewed and reconciled the costs and expenses for years 2008 through 2009, and determined that the City of New York and its Department of Environmental Protection have overpaid the Town of Carmel the sum of $4,345.23 for a period of 2008 and 2009. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 7, hereby authorize the payment to the City of New York through the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation the sum of $4,345.23. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers required to effectuate this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And just so the public understands, these last 3 resolutions that we read, 5, 6, and
Four,
4,
five,
5, and 6, the City of New York essentially overpaid the Town of Carmel for operation and maintenance of the sewer districts in the Town of Carmel. There must have been an audit done that the city had brought forward, and they determined during that audit period that we were overpaid. So we're returning money back to them that they had paid us. So essentially, it's just, there's no cost to the taxpayer on this. The monies that we're approving tonight, it's monies that we had because New York City gave us too much money during that billing cycle of the maintenance of the treatment plants. So we're just returning it back to them based on the findings of an audit. Okay. All right, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution authorizing extension of an intermunicipal agreement between the Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel for the use of athletic fields. Councilman Lombardi, would you read this one?
Sure. Whereas James R. Gilchrist, Director of the Town of Carmel Recreations and Parks, has requested that the Town Board authorize the signing of an extension of an intermunicipal agreement between Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel providing for the continued use by the Town of Carmel of certain athletic fields belonging to Mahopac Central School District for a period of 1 year through June 30th, 2016. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to serve on behalf of the Town of Carmel extension of an intermunicipal agreement between Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel in regard to the foregoing in the form as attached hereto and made part hereof, and be it further resolved that a copy of said intermunicipal agreement be filed with the Town Clerk after signature by the Town Supervisor. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution authorizing the extension of an intermunicipal agreement between the Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel for the use of the inline roller skating rink. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one?
Whereas James R. Gilchrist, Director of the Town of Carmel Recreation and Parks, has requested that the Town Board authorize the signing of an extension of a intermunicipality agreement between the Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel, providing for the continued use by the Town of Carmel of the Michael Geary skating rink belonging to the Mahopac Central School District for a period of 1 year through June 30th, 2016. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to sign on behalf of the Town of Carmel the extension of the intermunicipal agreement between the Mahopac Central School District and the Town of Carmel in regards to the foregoing in the form as attached hereto and made a part hereof, and be it further resolved that a copy of said intermunicipal agreement be filed with the Town Clerk after signature by the Town Supervisor. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Schneider. Is it $1? Does it say it in here?
No,
This one was 90,000.
yeah, it's the same. It's part of
There's no cost.
Is there a cost for the roller
Pay
rink?
for the rink.
Oh, okay. I thought it was $1 or
think-
something.
It's a nominal, what I think is included in the 90, and we just had a separate agreement.
included, yeah, it's not-
Because of the type of the property.
Okay, so that dollar, that figure doesn't have to be in the agreement, correct? Okay, all right. Okay. Roll call vote, please?
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution is resolution number 9, and that's a resolution accepting a proposal and authorizing installation of a water main for Carmel Water District number 12. Suzie, would you read this one? I'm sorry.
Sure. Whereas Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., and Carmel Sewer District Number 12, Water District Operator Severn Trent Environmental Services have advised the Town Board of the Town of Carmel that certain water main improvements are recommended to be performed in the area of Daniela Court and Alana Drive within Carmel Sewer District Number 12.
Should be water, I'm sorry.
I was going to say Carmel Water, District Number 12. And now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Water District Number 12, hereby authorizes the acceptance of the proposal of Done Right Excavating, Carmel, New York, to perform said improvements in accordance with the attached written proposal at a cost not to exceed $7,225. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council, the aforementioned work shall hereby be authorized. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a proposal for the geese deprivation services for Lake Mahopac Park District. Councilman Schneider, would you read this one?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of the Lake Mahopac Park District, hereby authorize the acceptance of a proposal for geese depredation services on Lake Mahopac at a cost not to exceed $8,600, plus a processing fee not to exceed $700. Said proposal in form as attached hereto and may depart hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
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 Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. 4 yes and 1 no. Okay, next resolution, number 11, is a resolution adopting the Town of Carmel Information Systems Usage Policy. Councilman Lombardi, would you read this one?
Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby adopts effective immediately the Town of Carmel Information System Uses Policy dated June 15, 2015, as attached hereto and made part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is a resolution authorizing emergency expenditure of monies from the Carmel Sewer District Number 1 Repair Reserve Fund. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one?
Whereas the Town of Carmel has a repair reserve fund for Carmel Sewer District Number 1 established pursuant to GML 6D, and whereas in case of emergency, monies in such fund may be expended by resolution approved by not less than two-thirds of the members of the governing body, and whereas it is recommended by the Town Comptroller's Office that monies in the fund be used for the cost of emergency repairs. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel authorizes the appropriation of monies from the Repair Reserve Fund not to exceed $34,000 for emergency repairs expenditures in 2015. Be it further resolved that not less than be it further resolved that not less than 1/2 of the monies be expended, be repaid in fiscal year 2016, and the total amount should be repaid in full, not later than the last day of fiscal year 2017. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Was there a second?
Susie?
did.
Okay, Councilwoman McDonough seconded that. Roll call vote?
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Now, let me explain what this money is being authorized for. There's manholes in Carmel Sewer District Number 1 that need emergency repairs. There's 3 or 4, I believe there were 3 that were repaired already. They're on the Route 6 corridor in the Mahopac Village, Mahopac Hamlet Business District, and they have been repaired. There was, we believe, the failure of those septic structures, the septic, the sewer covers, there was some I&I, which is some water that may have been getting into the New York City sewer system.
And it's also actual part of the manhole structure as well, not just the covers that were,
Yeah, it was,
that had been
yeah, thank you,
repaired.
Greg.
Yep.
Yeah, it was part of the manhole structure itself that was failing. But you have to keep in mind, Sewer District Number 1, especially that system part, that part of town is very old. That's probably been, those mains and those manhole covers and structures are at least 70, 75 years old. So we did realize when there was an inspection done to the system that some were failing and they needed immediate repairs, emergency repairs. So this money that was authorized this evening is going towards the cost of repairing those structures and those manholes. And the issue with the I&I, at least at those 3 locations, will be prevented for the future. So some other areas of the system are being looked at for additional repairs that may have to be undertaken, but for the time being, those 3 were identified as being a priority, and they were immediately taken care of. Okay, thank you. All right, next resolution item is number 13. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read this one? It's authorizing repairs to the collection system of Carmel Sewer District Number 1.
Yep, whereas Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., has advised the town board of the town of Carmel that certain collection system and manhole repairs in Carmel Sewer District Number 1 are required pursuant to the directives of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And whereas the town engineer further advises that the required repairs are an emergency situation that does not necessitate compliance with the competitive bidding requirements of the general municipal law. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 1, hereby authorizes Ed Cook Excavating, Inc., Mahopac, New York, to perform all necessary repairs to the collection system and manholes as required at a cost not to exceed $34,000. I offer this resolution as read.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And just to add to what Susie had read in the resolution, the sewage treatment plant for Carmel Sewer District Number 1 is owned by New York City. The collection system, which is the sewer mains, the manholes, the structures, that's owned by the town of Carmel in Sewer District Number 1. So the plant that's here on, across from the town hall on Mud Pond Road, that's owned by New York City. They maintain that. They pay for the cost of upgrades and improvements to that and any repairs that are made. The collection system, the distribution system for the sewer is owned by the town, so we're responsible for paying the costs of any improvements or repairs to that part of the system. Just wanted to explain that to the residents so they understand a little bit about who owns what, and in this particular system, it's the city and the town, and as I stated, the city owns the plant, we own the collection system. All right, is that it for the resos? Okay, that's it for the resos this evening. There were 13. Is there any residents that would like to come up and comment on any of the resolutions that we just acted on this evening? Thank you. Ed, did you have anything? Okay, and Ed, I know you've been in communication with the engineering department and myself. For those other items that were requested by the sheriff's department, if you could just get us we need some prices on those, the cinder blocks, the 200 feet of galvanized chain, the clevises, and we have the prices for the 3 buoys, but we need other pricing in order for us to approve the expenditures for that. So if you can have that for the next work session, all those numbers, we'll put that on for the work session, then we'll vote on it the following Wednesday. So we had the 10 on, but there was a little discrepancy in the number of buoys. So I think we've determined that it's, at this point, it's 3, based on Sergeant Zabel from the Sheriff's Department's request. All right, but that will be on, just between now and the work session, could you get us those prices, or someone get those so we have them? All right, thank you, Ed, thanks for being here. Okay, so nobody else on agenda items. We're going to move on to the open forum, new business portion of the meeting. Mike, would you like to come up?
Hi, Mike Borelli, a longtime resident. I guess it knows I'm going to complain about something. I'm glad that Mr. Barnett's here tonight because with the geese on the agenda, I was curious the status with the DEC. I've lived on Lake Mahopac for 40 years now, and I know a lot of longtime lakefront residents, and I'm hearing a discussion that I heard 22 years ago that was done 22 years ago. And when they were waiting for the CARP the last time, you had a lot of people putting, I forget the name of it, sulfuric chloride or sulfuric chloric going in, and it's harder to get now, but it's not impossible to get. And I spoke to 3 or 4 people that are like that close to going out at midnight and taking care of their own lakefront. So I mean, is this thing going to drag out for years? Are we going to get an answer from the DEC? Because you're going to see people doing what they did 20 some odd years ago. And to be very honest with you, you know, I was right there with them 20 some odd years ago. It's just, I put my raft in the lake this weekend. It was covered with weeds, exactly like it was 20 some odd years ago. And unless something is done, you're going to have people taking the situation in their own hands, which I don't think is good now because the lake's used a little more than it was 20 some odd years ago.
Well, I can give you the latest from what I have knowledge of, Mike. Mike Flaherty, the DEC, New York City DEC Regional He's the regional biologist with the DEC. He was here on May 14th, and there was quite a few residents that attended. I believe you were one of them.
Yep.
And at that time, he indicated that he was going to be going out on Monday following that meeting, and they were going to be electroshocking for the fisheries inquiry that they make out there to determine the species of fish, the size of them, et cetera. And he also indicated that while he was out there on the lake, because he was out on the boat that did the electroshocking, that he was going to, observe the weeds that were in the lake, the weed masses, and he was going to make a determination at that point, based on his observations, if the weed blooms, if the vegetation and the blooms have increased, stayed the same, or where they're currently, the status of them currently are. So based on that observations that he made that evening, it was on a Monday evening, he indicated that the original amount of 170 carp that they were going to issue the permit for, they would increase it to 200. So he's only increasing it by 30 fish, 30 carp, which in my opinion is not enough. It's in the opinion of a lot of residents, it's not enough.
All right, let me ask you a question. Why don't they put the 200 carp in tomorrow, and we'll work on the rest now? When are we going to wait to put the carp in? October?
No, the carp, he's in the process of issuing the permit, and once he issues the permit, then the carp can be put in. But the permit is not finalized yet. He's finalizing the issuance of it, and once he does, at that point, the carp can be stocked back in the lake. Am I correct, Ed, on that?
Supposed to have a draft permit a week ago from last Monday. That's what he said to me in the email. I haven't seen the thing.
Okay, I can email him again tomorrow and
You're
find
going to
out.
have people taking it in their own hands, and you don't want that.
Yeah, because I actually had that down, because I was out there this weekend. It's extremely bad, and I've actually been telling people from the conversations that I had with you that I thought the carp would be in this week, because I was under the understanding that the application was already done. He just had to finalize the number, and since he wasn't changing it, so it really cannot wait. It can't, it's bad.
No, I agree with you, so I am in total agreement with you, but I think, unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the DEC right now, because they're the ones who issue the permits. Absent the permit, the carp can't be put in the lake without the permit, so.
Did he give us any timeline as to when,
He gave us when the proposal.
last week?
But
Yeah.
All right.
But that
all right,
was
yeah,
it.
so
I'm just worried because I have a funny feeling that you're going to start seeing people dumping hundreds of pounds of this stuff. And it's just, you got to do something. I'm telling you, I'm tipping you now
Yeah.
that there are a lot of angry people out there that are going to take it in their own hands.
Yeah, the condition is bad. The weeds have
Right.
really overtaken quite a bit of the lake, and 200 carp, it's impossible for 200 carp to address that issue. I mean, I don't know where they're planning on putting the carp in the water, but wherever they do put them in, they're going to have enough milfoil there, enough weeds and vegetation, that they're not going to go to the other side of the lake.
The
They're
amount of
gonna have
taxes
enough
paid
food.
by a lakefront resident versus how much it's going to cost for them to take it in their own hands, it's something you better pay
Yeah,
attention to.
I actually, some residents forwarded me some photographs of their lakefront property, and it's bad. I mean, they're actually raking it out, that's how bad it is, and
It's-
they're long, they're 10 feet long, and they're going to get a lot longer.
20-some-odd years ago, I remember Dr. Chester Henschel bringing the weeds in here, plopping it on Dick Altman's right on the front there and says, take care of this. You're going to have that happen again. You're going to have lakefront residents come in here with baskets of weeds and dump it over there to show you. So please,
And
it's
you
not
know-
going away.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just not lakefront people either.
No, it's everybody.
You go throughout the lake, and if you anchor your boat in the middle of the lake, you don't even want to jump
Yeah,
in.
I've had a couple of people that rent the boat slip from
Yeah.
me, and they're saying it. Say, what happened?
Yeah.
It happened so quickly.
Yeah, I think
Wouldn't take
what
that much time on
I
this
think what the DEC's decision is not based on, it doesn't represent the greater masses of people of the users of the lake. I understand the fishermen's concerns, I really do, about the fish population. Lake Mahopac has transitioned from a largemouth bass lake to a smallmouth bass lake over the years since the carp were introduced back in the 90s. I understand that, and I understand they want to see pickerel in the lake, and they want to see crappie and lake trout and things like that.
Not happening.
But you have a small, very small population, a very small group of individuals, and I fish in the lake also. But you have the masses, that the taxpayers that represent the greater good, the greater masses of the town. They're the ones who are being affected by this. And I think some of the fishermen that come in and fish in Lake Mahopac aren't even from around here. They come from out of state in a lot of cases for bass tournaments and things like that. So
That's another issue.
and I don't want to,
There's only 3 places to drop boats, and I know one of them is closed because it's mine. And the other 2, if they want to let them drop, you know, they live with that decision. I personally don't. I was in my office this evening with 3 local businessmen and property owners. And, well, before I get to those 2 or 3 things, about a month ago, you had a lot of people here when the chamber was upset about your public hearing, which you can't get upset of a public hearing because a public hearing is just what it says. It's to help you. Well, where are we going from there? Because I haven't seen one person back attending any meeting since that group came. I mean, they bombarded you with, you know, how dare you, this, you're taking this way, taking this way. But leaving these business people just now in my office, I got my usual slice of pizza before I come here, and pulling out, I'm looking at a 4x8 billboard on a state highway, you know, before I pull out onto Route 6. And then I look to my left, and there are 3 signs down or half down. And as I pull out on Route 6, I look across the street, and I see a car up on blocks that's 6 inches off the state highway right away, obviously under repair. That's been there for maybe 2 weeks, when it's quite obvious in the zoning code nobody can repair outside like that. And I took that ride, together with the ride I had in Southeast today and in downtown Brewster, which, I mean, I just tip my hat to whoever's running downtown Brewster, because for, you know, I got to watch how I say it, but for what they're going through in downtown Brewster, they have flower pots that look beautiful. Sidewalks, just everything. And coming down Route 6, I'm noticing these 2 or 3 things. I had these business people say to me today, you know, somebody donated about $20,000 worth of stuff to the town 2 years ago to make it look pretty, and everything died because it wasn't watered. And I don't blame that person. I wouldn't donate again, and I wouldn't either if it was me. But what are you going to do about these signs that are just there on the road? Okay, trucks on the road with signs on their roof, 4x8 billboards on the road for the last 6 months that you all have to be driving by. These trucks under repairs that you all have to be driving by. Flower pots that are empty. If you're not going to put anything in them, take them down. I mean, take them down. You have lampposts that I stored for the town 3 years ago that still aren't going up because you have local people fighting the location of where they're going to put the pole to beautify their own property. I mean, it's asinine. It makes no sense. And then the ultimate thing I want to ask you is, did you change whoever services this building? Because up to about 3 or 4 years ago, this building looked horrible. And the last 2 or 3 years, whoever was landscaping it or taking care of it, the building looked really nice. I mean, if anybody walks around Town Hall now, the weeds are 3 feet high. There's dead grass everywhere. This is the largest town in Putnam County. I mean, I left 2 town halls today, Yorktown, Southeast, and I'm embarrassed. I mean, I don't want to come here and beat on you every week, but I will. I'd like to stay home on a Wednesday night and not eat a slice of pizza. or take my wife out to dinner on a Wednesday night. But I mean, don't tell me you guys don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't see this. It's got to stop. You can't go out to your car and see 4 feet of weeds and cut grass everywhere and say, this is Town Hall for the largest town in Putnam County? Or there's a pickup truck on top of blocks and wheels, like I'm driving through West Virginia on a back dirt road and somebody's fixing a car in their backyard? I mean, and you got 2 property owners on either side that are paying taxes and trying to run a business? I mean, I'm going to continue to come and I'm going to continue to preach this until you do something. And I know it's not, you know, I'm preaching to the choir. Okay, so the choir's got to go out to the rest of the people. It's not all your fault. But when the chamber comes in here and goes after you the way they did, I didn't think that was fair of them. I actually thought they were going to go home that night, have a meeting, and start policing themselves and show good faith to the board, you know, hey, let's work together. But there are more signs out now. There are more things being repaired where they shouldn't be. And this is the town of Carmel. I mean, it's just very frustrating. Okay, I pay a lot of taxes, and, you know, with the reval, you have a lot of nervous people, and, you know, the real estate market's coming back somewhat, okay? You know, it's coming back, but not with the prices you used to have, so your mortgage tax is going to come in slowly. But, I mean, we're getting back on our feet. And if we're getting back on our feet, and we're not running negatives, there's no reason why a couple dollars can't be spent to spruce this town up. It's truly looks horrible. I'm done.
Can I comment on one thing you
I
said, Mike?
apologize.
No,
Thank you so much.
No, not at all.
With regard to that, I mean, we've worked very hard to try to really beautify this
And
town.
I know that.
I know you do. I know you do.
I know that.
And in fact, the money that you say that we should spend, you know, to beautify, you know where we're spending it? We're spending it in court on that one particular issue about this project for the lights on 6N should have been done 2 years ago. We've had the lights.
I know that.
It's been, we didn't pay, not one nickel came out of our pockets.
I know, I stored them for you.
Okay. But like you said, council, we authorized council a couple weeks ago. He filed papers in court to force whatever we need. Now imagine, we're forcing someone to allow us to improve and put a new sidewalk in front of their property and a beautiful light.
And bury their lines.
What?
And bury their lines.
And bury the lines.
There's always 1 or 2 nuts in the crowd.
But think about it. So although there were a lot of people here, and most of them you know, all wanted the same thing, a couple here or there impede the progress that we are all trying to make for the town. So imagine if I came to you and said, Mike, I'm going to put a new sidewalk, I'm going to put a new light, I'm going to bury those lines, I don't want it. How are we supposed to move forward with anything else? So just, I mean, you know.
Always have 1 or 2 nuts.
But
I've always
it's
preached-
but it's costing the town legal fees
I know.
to do what we have to do
I know.
to improve. So forgive me for
No, I
not
know how much
jumping
money
for
is wasted
joy,
on that.
for jumping for joy and say we should do this, we should. A lot of times there's roadblocks that are put in
That's
front
one
of us.
particular instant. I've also preached for years and years and years to put more teeth and more dollar fines on this stuff, and to give Mr. Carnazza and his staff the ability that when you go into court, it's on the books, it's done. This is it. Fix it or pay the fine. But we're dragging this stuff out forever. The town looks horrible forever. We're wasting money in court. Fix the damn zoning code. Get it done. Hire an independent guy to fix the zoning code together with Mike. He's done great work to this point with it, but obviously there are more things that have to be done. But I mean, you know, I'm not the only one seeing it. You all have to go home tonight, drive around Town Hall, drive around the Highway Department garage, and then take a ride through Brewster. Brewster looks better than us. By far. It just was embarrassing. Like I said, today was a day I had to go to 2 or 3 town halls, and I happened to meet these people in my office, and they says, Mike, get up there and say something. I go, why don't you come with me and say something? Well, because you're going to go say something. So I got voted to say something, and I did.
Yeah, Mike, just in regards to the flower pots in town, I happen to be in agreement with you. Right now, they're beautiful flower pots, but the only thing in them is soil, potting soil. There's no flowers in them. We had been putting flowers in them, and one year the gentleman donated them, and he's right. He shouldn't donate them anymore, number one. Number two, why put them in if they're going to die? The issue is watering them. We couldn't get anybody to water them. We tried. We tried to get veterans to water them. We tried to get Boy Scouts. We tried to get other groups and organizations to we have the watering cans, the tank. It's just that we had nobody to physically go down there and water them.
Kenny,
That is,
I cannot stand here, and I respect you for the work you do. I cannot stand here and hear you say that when every other town has flowers that aren't dead, okay? We have people that work for the town. It could be done. Leave it at that.
if you can get me I tried.
I don't.
If you can get me volunteers
I don't
to
think you
do
should
it,
have to ask for a volunteer.
well, we have to, because we
Well,
have nobody.
If you have to ask for a volunteer, then the people that work for this town, don't realize how good they have it.
You're absolutely correct. You know who waters the flowers in the Hamlet of Carmel? Go up to the Hamlet of Carmel, 'cause they have beautiful hanging baskets on all the decorative poles along Route 52.
Beautiful.
They're watered. The reason that they look the way they do is because they're watered. They have, the Hamlet of Carmel Civic Association has volunteers that do it. They have watering cans, they go along and they take care of all of them. I'm not going to put flowers back down there if they're just going to die. I happen to agree with you. But I can't go down and water them, all right? I can, but people are going to be looking at me saying, why is the town supervisor watering the flowers? Are things that bad that he's got to do it? But can't we get someone to volunteer, or groups or organizations, somebody? We'll put them down there, but I'm just not going to put them there if they're going to die. And I agree with you.
I
The
think
highway
all the
department.
clubs- I don't think the clubs that take care and beautify our town, like the Garden Club and the veteran organizations, I don't think they should be asked to maintain something like that. I think the beauty that what they do, and to enhance spots that need to be beautified, they do that, and they should have behind them somebody from the town taking care of it. They're beautifying. I mean, I'm going to go back to 25 years ago when I couldn't take how it looked outside over here. And my company back then put this garden in. We didn't come water it every week. Somebody did. It's there now. It looks good. And the garden club fixed it and kept it going. But this town has enough employees where I'm quite sure you could find someone to water. And if you can't, shame on this town. Not you guys. Shame on every employee in this town. Sorry to take so much time.
No, that's all right. Thanks, Mike. Yes, Ed?
I wasn't going to address it, but I think I should. One of our advisors on the Park District has Ed Barnett, Chairman Lake Mahopac Park District. One of our advisors has a drone.
One second, Ed. Dominic?
The speaker has to.
Dominic, can you, is the speaker on the You raised, okay, great, thank you. I'm sorry, Ed.
One of our advisors has a drone with a camera on it. Bert Melchner has it. And I'll pass this around because what we were talking about, even if we might have to contract for it, which we don't, to fly the drone over the areas of the lake. And I can show you a photograph. It's of the Marina Cove, but we need to expand. We can pass this around, and you can see the idea is to get a record of the expansion during the summer. Hopefully, you'll fly it monthly over the same areas and expand that. The other thing is, I don't understand what the delay is. What's the matter? Something's going on. That's of the Marina Cove looking north toward Westlake. Now, that's just that. Once you get high enough, on a good day, with a blue sky, you can see right down through the water to the extent of the weed growth. I don't know why they're delaying this. It is insane. They could put in 2, they could put in 200, it doesn't matter. I've stopped contacting Flaherty. I'm telling people, I'm giving them their phone number when they complain. I think it's time for pressure. Quite honestly, the Park District asked for 500, as you know. So I don't know what the status of this is, but the only way I think the DEC will function is pressure. If Ron Pierce was here, I think it would have been solved a while back. Unfortunately, it's not only milfoil, but it's very aggressively growing. Thank you.
Can I just read Mr. Flaherty's response to that photograph?
I have it here.
I
yeah.
have it too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
It says, "Hello, Mr. Melchner. That is a great shot. Was this done with a drone? Question mark. I would be interested in seeing any other additional photos you may feel comfortable with sending me." That was a great shot. He's saying it was a great shot. Mr. Flaherty. He can see, obviously he can see what we're seeing. How bad the vegetation, the weed blooms are in the lake. That's the cove. That's one section of the lake. There are many others that look just like that.
One of our residents had he has a jet boat, and in that cove, when he came back from a run on the lake, it jammed up his jet drive. So my personal feeling, I'm not talking about the Park District now, is it's only going to get worse before enough people get annoyed to do something about it. That's all there is to it. I don't know why he hasn't issued a crummy permit for lousy 170 or 200 fish. There's no reason for it. And I think maybe pressure from the town board might be appropriate at this time, because I can't do anything further with them. I thought they'd be more cooperative. They haven't. They're very, very, very conservative. If you have any questions, fine. Thank you for your vote, the resolution about the geese. So give me a call, email me, whatever you like.
I have my own feelings, but I'm not going to share them here publicly.
Okay, I'll
Of
ask
why
you
they're,
after
of
the
why they're
meeting's over.
delaying, why they're doing what they're doing. But I'm just not going to publicly say right now.
Okay. So I'll ask you
Off the
after-
record, I'll tell you what my belief is, but. no.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? This is the open forum, new business portion of the meeting, resident, business owner, or taxpayer to comment. Okay. There being none, I just have one announcement to make. The Sunset Concert Series is starting up again. The first show, the first concert, will be on June 25th. So that's a week from tomorrow evening, June 25th, at the Mahopac Carmel Chamber Park at 6 and 6N in the Hamlin of Mahopac. And Nashville Drive is the band that's going to be performing that evening. They're in the top 40 of modern country. So hopefully the weather's going to be nice for the first concert of the season. Bring your lawn chairs, your blankets, come on down to the Chamber Park. They're a great band, the Nashville Drive, country music. So if you enjoyed country music, come on down. You'll have a great night. And if the weather's nice, you're really going to enjoy yourself down there. So, and there's some other ones. The lineup is July 9th. The Big Easy's going to be playing down there. They're a Dixieland band. July 16th, the Mark Berger and Ride Band. They're deep country folk songs and more. July 23rd is Dynamite D and the Destruction, it's called. They're a swing, jazz, and blues band. July 30th is the Saints Band. They're a classic R&B. And August 6th, Time Machine, is another good band, is going to be playing there. They're classic dance and rock hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So next Thursday evening, July 25th, at the Chamber Park. Come on out for that. It's the Nashville Drive is going to be performing there. I believe it starts at, I didn't say what time it started, at 7:30. 7:30? Wait a second. 7:30, Sue? Oh, 7 p.m., I'm sorry. The start times at the Chamber Park is 7 p.m. At the Red Mills Historic Park this year on Route 6N and Hill Street behind the Mahopac National Bank, there's going to be a special July 4th concert. The Norm Hathaway Big Band is going to be performing on July 4th at the Red Mills Historic Park, and that starts at 7:30. That's on the 4th of July. So that should be a good concert down there also. They have some other events that take place that day, but it's, the Norm Hathaway Band will be performing there as well. So that's all I have as far as any announcements for this evening. Does anybody else have anything?
Happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day this Sunday. All you fathers out there, including myself and all the board members and Town Attorney Greg Fulchetti. It's Father's Day this Sunday, so make sure you take your father out to breakfast, lunch, or get him something nice and just enjoy the day with your fathers. They're special folks, and my sons, if you're watching, you're probably not, but if you're watching, hint, hint, breakfast Sunday morning somewhere for Father's Day. Yeah, where? Four Seasons? All right, we can't promote any restaurants or plug anyone, but, thanks, Greg. All right, we do not have executive session this evening,
If they advertise with us, they could.
so I need a motion to close the meeting right here.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you back here next week for a town board work session.
$250 a year.